Welcome to the Chris and Sam podcast. Pull up a bar stool and join us for a random conversation, guaranteed to make you think or your money back.
Hey guys, welcome to the Chris and Sam podcast. This is number 68. My name is Sam. I'm slightly heat-stroked out. Chris may be hungover, so we don't know how this show will go. I'm sure it's going to be a winner.
It's going to be a winner. I'm hungover from awesomeness, a weekend of awesomeness.
Oh, really? It's a flow-on effect from the whole weekend,
Yeah.
culminating in a very weird and unique sort of party. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, it was a bit. Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit later. So yeah, I got a few notes of things that happened.
You do. I can't remember much what happened this week. I've been working, I think. This is all I've been doing, and I was been at the Weetbix Kids Tryathlon all day.
Yeah. I love. So he Sam shared a photo on a Telegram with a group of us, and it was just a gazillion kids. It looked insane.
So they had, I'll give you a figure, 2,855 kids. That's the most kids they've had at any event registered for this upcoming year. So we're the biggest Weetbix Kids Triathlon. And the photo I sent was of the transition area with all 2,855 bikes rode up.
Oh my God. And the funniest thing was our friend Lush Monster jumps in there and goes, "It looks like Helm's Deep." I thought that was such a cool reference. But that's just me. Anyway, did you handle that okay? Is that why you're heat struck? Are you a little overdosed with juvenile energy or something?
No, there's just not that much shade at Waikato Uni fields, so you're in the sun a lot of the time, but that's okay. And yeah, some people are idiots. One kid fell over and had a massive gash down his side. He fell onto some temporary fencing. I thought you'd like that.
I just love the way that Sam is trying not to laugh right now. He's got a big grin on his face while he talks about the gash down the side of the kid.
And the other, yeah, no. Well, it was interesting. But the other thing was where the kids run down from the swimming pool down to the bikes. There's like a raceway made of temporary fencing, and at the bottom it's controlled by helpers, and when people want to cross to get to the other side of the field, they have to quickly block the racetrack and let people through. Now they do that when there's a break in the amount of kids coming in and out of the pool, so you've only got like 30 seconds to get everyone through. And then what they started to do, there was like a real big guy there who was sort of managing these young helpers, and he was onto it. So when someone was running down the hill, he just started going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And when they got to 1, they switched the gate back around, which was good. But adults, so many people wanted to get through, and a lot of them were just dawdling through. At one point that I saw, they got to 1, they had to get everyone out to let the kids keep running because you don't want to slow them down. So these helpers who were like 16-year-old girls just started pushing everyone, just shunting them.
Yeah,
it's
good
great.
job. Yeah, adults are not as switched onto it as kids.
No.
Often. They're just not as aware.
And a lot of adults, and particularly in our little group from the school, couldn't deal with today. It was almost too much for some of them.
Yeah.
They had to be there at 7, and prize giving was at 1:15, and that was just too much of a day for them. And we were supposed to have a massive photo at the end. Admittedly, the sound system was a bit crappy, and some of them didn't hear it, but others just stuff this, we're going home. Let's just go.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, when I'm at the Pumpkin Carnival, I'm organising it. I'm there from at least 7 until 5 or 6 at night. This is nothing. I was thinking about it. I was like, I'm not even doing anything. I'm just standing here watching kids run around.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I tell you, actually, just while we're on that, I wasn't going to talk about the Asia Pacific Podcast Conference just yet, except...
Actually, we should talk about that next, actually.
That was how I was feeling, though, because got there on Thursday, got there at 3:30. Admittedly, there was quite a bit of waiting around because everybody was doing stuff.
Now, Thursday is the night before it kicks off, and you're there to help because you said, I will help.
Yeah, and I said, I'll go up early, I'll stay an extra night, and I'll help set things up. I didn't get a lot of time to set things up because other things were going on. But we were there till 8:30. Basically, the last part was writing stuff out and creating a run sheet. that I said I'd go home and type. So I finished the run sheet at midnight.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm not a late night person. I got up at 5:15 the next morning.
Yeah.
It was an hour's walk from where I'm staying to the venue, so I walked in, got changed there, and then away we went. But by the end of the day, we had dinner that night. Harley turned up for dinner.
I saw a Harley photo. He was wearing his sombrero.
Yeah. I'm in the back of that photo, I think, with the drink to my lips.
Oh, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
But yeah, so I was just shattered. And then Saturday, I think I wasn't right as on the ball as I should have been the day before. But that's cool. We had a great time. Cliff Ravenscraft was our keynote speaker, our biggest guest name. He was cool. He was really, really good.
If you don't know who he is, just look him up online. Just Google his name.
The Answer Man podcast is his.
The podcast
main
Answer Man.
The podcast Answer Man. Good God, that's his main podcast. He's done a whole heap of others, and he's done over 3,000 episodes. Amazing guy. Had a good chat to him when I first got there, and he Snapchatted with me with all his followers, which apparently is a big deal. So that's cool. I'm into that. So he was really, really neat. Who else was there? Caitlin Sowry. Have a shout out to her. She's a pretty cool chick from ABC in Australia, doing some cool stuff. They have like an incubator where they bring broadcasters in and make podcasts.
Is that within ABC?
Within ABC.
That's pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, it's really cool. And one of their things that have come out, Science Versus, has just been brought up by Gimlet Media.
Oh, wow.
And that'll be launching Season 2. So Season 1 was with ABC in Australia, and Season 2 will be with Gimlet Media. And she was talking about the difference in resourcing.
Yeah.
There was 2 of them doing Season 1, and they went, oh, you did that with 2 people. That's interesting.
Yeah, they must have thought that was amazing. So they're keeping...
And they're going to put like 12 people
I'm assuming Season 1 had Australian hosts.
Yes.
Does Season 2 have Australian hosts? Or
I think one of the hosts is going with the show.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and it might just be the one host, actually. I think it is the one host, but she pulls in scientists to help answer the questions. So I'm going to tell you, because I tweeted this, well, I didn't tweet it in full detail, but I'll tell you here now.
Okay.
If you are easily offended or have kids nearby, you may want to not listen to this. This is how it was pitched. This thing was pitched to her in the beginning, to Caitlin. It was like, I've got an idea. We'll do Science Versus. She goes, what do you mean Science Versus? Science Versus, like Science Versus Gwyneth Paltrow.
Okay.
Like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
She goes, well, at that time, Gwyneth Paltrow just came out in public saying it would be a really good idea for women to steam clean their vaginas.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, that's a really stupid idea. And getting the science against that would be really cool. And that was it. I was like, I was pissing myself laughing.
That's pretty cool.
I was like, that is the best pitch for a show ever. I mean, you're not going to forget a pitch like that, right?
No,
they've done some really good Science Versus over I haven't listened to it yet. I'm going to. It's on my list of things to do. So that was cool. Victor Ahipeni, I think that's how you say it. He's actually a Kiwi living in Australia, in Brisbane. He does the Youngpreneurs podcast, all one word. Young entrepreneurs under 35, I think it is. So really good guy, great speaker. Could listen to him for ages. He was awesome. Who else? There's a bunch of other people, and I'm going to not go any further with all the people. But I will say I have to have a look at podcastanswerman.com/Snapchat, because he's really, really been hammering me, Cliff Ravenscraft this is, hammering at the Snapchat. It was the first thing he really took to me about. He wrote it down, the URL down on the back of the piece of paper on my run sheet and stuff. Said you have to go and do this free tutorial. I'm not asking for an email address, nothing like that. Do the free tutorial. It's about an hour to tell you everything you need to know about Snapchat. You have to get on it. So Gary Vaynerchuk has been going on about the same thing for a while. I was starting to wonder if he actually had shares in it. But yeah, So Snapchat's apparently where it's at, so I'm going to be having a look into that. So we'll put a link to that.
Yeah, I had a quick look at it this morning. Was it this morning? No, last night. It's 39 minutes long, the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then I thought, I'll download Snapchat to my phone so I can play with it. And then the phone just does its usual trick of, you do not have enough storage capacity. Please delete some stuff.
It's time for you to upgrade your phone.
It's time for me to throw it out or do something. Yeah.
And we're going to have a quick yell out to Pauline Stockhausen.
Yeah, we are.
Who was at the event. I had a bit of a chat, and it was so funny because we were talking away, and I'd been mentioning the Chris and Sam podcast.
Which is good. Chris has been good at marketing our podcast.
Yeah, I've been, I keep saying you probably don't want to listen to it. You don't want to listen to it. So it wasn't that good at marketing.
Oh, okay. So it's just it's the usual thing you say.
Yeah, pretty much. But I will keep going, I can't imagine anyone would actually listen to it. But I was talking about it and blah, 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 Chris and Sam podcast, and she turned around to me at one point on a conversation and says, oh, by the way, do you know WebSam?
I love how I come up in conversation, but with my Twitter handle.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, I just stopped and looked at her, and she goes, what?
Because obviously she doesn't know.
Who do you think the Chris and Sam the podcast is? It's me and WebSam. Oh, she goes, oh. So maybe we should have called it the Chris and WebSam podcast.
Maybe, yeah. I'm not sure. We could always just slot that in there.
So yes, for any of you listening that hadn't clicked till now, Sam is the one, the only WebSam.
It doesn't sound creepy at all. I don't know why he said it like that.
I don't know. Whatever. I'm just getting my lips near the mic.
Yeah, because he needs to practice on that. Because he can't do that even at the best of times, let alone hungover.
I know, I'm terrible.
What's apparently happy Kiwi hens are happy? What's going on there?
I'm going to ignore that. We'll throw that link in there, but there's this YouTube clip of this free-range hens, and they're being released, and there's like 20,000 of them coming out of this building, and they're just going everywhere. And at the beginning, you think it's just like a bit of a dirt patch, but it's like acres, 10 acres or something. And it's gone viral around the world. It's really cool.
So the guy said they record a whole bunch of stuff all the time with the hens.
Yeah, and that one clicked. That went viral.
Did you see the one with the sheep that came out?
Yeah,
after that.
I saw that one first. Actually, I saw that.
Oh, okay.
One. So that was the near Gizzy or somebody in a traffic thing. She was just, this is the most amazing part of my life.
No, we're talking about two different things.
So that was the sheep peed.
Yes, that's the sheep peed thing. No, a guy has taken a drone up while they're mustering like 20,000 sheep.
Oh, wow. No,
and they're just coming down a hill somewhere, I don't know where it is in the country, and they're just going through a farm gateway and then spilling out into a paddock. And it's just that different perspective.
Yeah.
So I think we need to invest in a drone, think of just boring average things and shoot it and get viral videos. Write that down.
Yeah, you heard it here first, folks. If you want to go and do that, because I'm too lazy to. And I can't afford a drone because I still don't have a job. Anyway, moving on. So Happy Kiwi Hens, I was into that because, as you know, I buy the expensive free-range eggs all the time.
What was the deal with the egg bloody thing at Countdown, and they had a boycott or something?
Yes. But people were going on about, because in Woolworths in Australia, which owns Countdown over here,
yes,
they have signed, as I understand it, they've signed an agreement that they will get rid of all caged eggs in their stores by, I forget when, 2020 or whatever.
They've got a date. Yeah.
They've got a date. And so there was a protest basically saying we should do the same here, particularly Countdown, because you're owned by the same people, blah, 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 blah. Countdown did respond, and they said, actually 40% of our eggs now, 35 or 40%, and this is off the top of my head, are the free-range ones, which is way better than it used to be. It used to be like 5%, right? So that's going in the right direction, all the rest of it. They said if we limited ourselves at this point in time to just free-ranged eggs, there wouldn't be enough to meet demand for eggs. There's just not.
No, they just can't keep up.
So it has to move in. And the protesters were like, yeah, I get that, but you have to, you should set the date. And they're like, well, we can't really. So it's good. It's good that there's debate. And I think both sides were pretty onto it, not being an idiot. either way.
That's good
so
then.
cool.
It sounds like they had an open, robust conversation about it.
And things are moving in the right direction, and those conversations are what will speed things in those directions, which I think is in the right direction. So so that was pretty cool. I tell you what I do want to do though. I want to have my rant.
Yeah, about what? There's a heaps of stuff on here you can rant about.
Oh no, the one that says rant time.
Yeah, what happened? Now this is funny because it says dickhead BMW driver. You used to be a BMW driver because your old work gave you a BMW for God knows what reason. But carry on.
I believe it was for driving around in.
Yeah, because that looked really good going to building sites in a Ponzi BMW.
Oh, you please open. Okay. So here we go. That wasn't the title. They've changed the title. The title was the original title for the story. So there was a new story in New Zealand Herald.
Yes.
And the original title was very, very amazing guy will be sorely missed, or something like that. They've actually changed. Oh,
yes. Sorry, I do know what this is about.
Yeah,
but carry on.
They actually changed it now to what am I going to do without him and it wasn't that very. They've changed it since all this crap happened.
Is this the same link, though?
It's the same link. It's the same story.
See,
They've
interesting,
changed the headline.
Because I reckon they must have had a conversation.
Oh, they must have got a lot of blowback. I reckon they got a lot, because people were as wound up about it as I was.
Well, to put things in perspective, if you're wound up about it, other people must have been wound up about it.
Oh, yeah.
Because normally you don't care about stuff as much as other people. So.
I guess that's true. That's true. So let me tell you the story. So this woman, she's got a broken jaw and she's really sore, and that's how the story starts. And she's in Waikato Hospital because her partner died by her side in a head-on collision, and she broke her jaw.
Yeah, and here in Hamilton.
In the Waikato.
Actually, up the road from where I used to live. Actually,
I was going to say up the road from where I used to live. I lived that way before you did.
Yes.
So that was cool. They go on about how amazing. She's still in shock, and then they go on about how amazing her husband is.
He was a top lawyer, from what I understand.
Top lawyer, did a lot of community stuff, did all this sort of thing. It talks a little bit about her and how amazing she is.
Yep, she's the Deputy Commissioner for Disability New Zealand or something like that.
Something like that. And the daughter talks about how they...
Oh, is the daughter amazing too?
The daughter was talking... They interviewed the daughter about how amazing her dad and mum are and blah, 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 blah. And then at the end of the story... Oh, they've changed that.
Have they changed that too?
They have too. So the second to last paragraph of the story said... Oh, and the car that they collided with, the driver of the car they collided with lost his life too, 17-year-old blah-de-blah, whatever his name was, right? And, you know, I can't help myself. I'm thinking that little shit of a teenager.
The way it's written, the way it's worded, you assume that, two people lost their lives, it's a tragedy, and the 17-year-old must have been at fault. Yeah.
And then the absolute last sentence was the BMW had pulled out to overtake a truck and hit the other car head on. And it was so annoying. And then there was another story came out, because obviously there was a big stuff about it. Like the family of the kid basically said, I want this story to be told. My son was 17. He'd left school at 14. He was made foreman of this construction company at 16. He wasn't drinking. He'd just dropped a friend off. He was going home. They lived there, like it was, 5 minutes from home or whatever. And he didn't have a chance. He was driving along. There's a big truck in the way coming towards him, and somebody pulled out, and that was it. Head-on collision. They two died. But the dickhead BMW driver is the one that gets all the obituary basically in the
Yeah, it's interesting, because they've gone...
because they kept... Oh, that's right, because they said victim in the headline, and that's what really wound me up, because the headline of the BMW driver is like, he wasn't the victim, he was the perpetrator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody around him was a victim because he made the decision. He freaking killed them all. He killed both of them and broke the woman's jaw and disrupted her life.
Yeah, it's a shame,
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So did I get a bit carried away there?
No, I completely agree with you.
Yeah, but it is interesting going back into that article, seeing how much it's changed.
They do that quite a bit, though, if you actually save articles.
Yeah.
I think the Herald might do it more than Stuff, actually. I know Stuff will turn off their comment section, and the Herald doesn't have a comment section, but a link that takes you to their Facebook page.
Yeah.
I've never really checked that out, but I know Stuff will turn off comments once they get septic.
Are you, because you're able to do the stuff more than me. Like, I don't know how or anything, but can you get a Wayback Machine time thing and get the old article and new article next to each other in our show notes? This is a link to the old article. This is the link to the original.
I don't know if it'll have saved records of something that close to each other, because it'll just be like a day change.
Yeah.
Like if it was a month, I think it's okay.
I think it might be a week change.
It might be a week. Oh, I don't know. We'll have a look.
A few days anyway. But yeah, see if you can do that, because that on its own would be interesting. It'd be interesting to me anyway. I hope it'd be interesting to you listening to this as well. But anyway, that's it. What else do you want to talk about?
Oh, that apparently, because you've got this continuing unemployment thing going on, which is like a lifestyle choice, you seem to have moved on to meat of the future. You had to bust out. If you followed us on the Chris and Sam podcast Facebook page, you would have seen I posted a photo that Chris pulls out a can. I've never heard of it before. It's called nut meat.
And it was my first taste of nut meat, and that sentence should never be said ever, because it is it's made of peanuts, and it's a can of stuff that
looks like cat food.
Like meat. Oh, actually, yeah, it looks like cat food. Totally looks like cat food.
And you can make burgers with it and cook it up. And
you're supposed to do specific stuff with it. I just ladled it onto a panini press and just
cooked it both sides.
Cooked it, pressed it, and then threw it on whatever I was eating, because I was running out of food.
Yeah.
Because I've got no money.
That's interesting.
But yes, so good old sanitarium nut meat.
So we had a good reaction to it, and talking about reactions, have you heard, or I don't know if you have or not, about the Fine Brothers?
The Fine Brothers? No.
Yeah. They're this random YouTube channel who apparently are amazing. They're two brothers. One of them looks like an alien.
Maybe I have heard of them.
Maybe you might have seen it but not understood what was going on.
Yeah.
They apparently have reaction videos. That's their thing. So they have 6 channels. They have 14 million followers, I think it is, and so many views, whatever. And they have kids react to whatever, and old people react to.
Oh, yes, I've seen some of the old people react to ones.
Yeah, so they make that.
Yeah.
So then they... This is about
because you don't see them, you only see their seniors.
Yeah.
Their seniors react to iPads or something like that. I think I saw, or something else.
Something like that. Anyway, about 2 weeks ago, they upset everyone pretty much on the internet, as people do, and they brought out a video, and you should watch it. You'd love it. It's just them talking about how amazing they are, and they basically, we're so good, and we just want everyone to be fair and everything equal on the internet. So we are bringing in Reaction World. So what that means is that any video that has reaction in the title, we pretty much own that. We pretty much have that copyright. That's us, right? So that's how it came across.
Yeah.
So apparently... there's a fine example of this is some kid who has 8 videos and 10 watches. They got one of his films taken down. Like the
Fine Brothers got one of his.
Yeah, they think it was them because they said that they own the intellectual property or whatever of reaction videos. So apparently they've been going around telling YouTube, going, no, that person can't have that video. So anyway, they came out with another video and they said, oh, hey guys, I think I got a bit confused with what we were saying and stuff. So, and then everyone on the internet's been doing reaction videos to their stupid. It's a big ball of interesting
stuff. It's a huge
stuff.
meme thing.
So you should look into it. You'd find it really interesting. And a lot of people, when they do video clips of these guys talking, they give one brother these googly eyes.
Yeah.
Because that's what he looks like. He looks really alien-like. So it's interesting.
Talking about that memes, you just reminded me, which we never wrote down here. I can't believe we didn't write it down here. Shia LaBeouf. I survived Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, it was interesting.
It was the funniest thing ever. You have to get a link to that. And the sad thing is, this is an old meme that Sam and I were oblivious to. Neither of us had heard of it, and it's like a 2014 meme,
something like that.
Which we looked up after we came across it. But a friend of ours posted it in a group we're in on Facebook, and it was a computer-generated graphics, like an in-game video, and they'd put this music with it, but the song's just so randomly bizarre that it doesn't make it, it's like I had us both cracking up. And then Sam looked into it, and then there's the link to the actual music video, which is just as bizarre. And thankfully it has the captions on it, because you actually know what they're saying.
Yeah, and it's
a bit hard to tell.
It's done with a full orchestra and the guy singing it,
and it's
a whole stage production.
Yeah, oh hell yeah, it's amazing.
And then he's in the back clapping.
Oh yeah, and Shia LaBeouf himself is in the video clapping at the video. That's a meme in itself. It's
from Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane clap. That's what it's all about.
But I had to look up who that was, because I don't associate the name with
Shia LaBeouf.
No, want to look it up. I'm like, oh okay.
Who is he again?
Well, he's an actor.
I know, he knew he was an actor. And I assumed he was in Twilight, but you told me that's not correct.
You assume everyone you don't know is in Twilight. You say that a lot, actually.
Actually, you're right. I just realised you're absolutely right.
You do. That's your default thing. I don't know who they are. They must be.
That's my other default setting.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that right now. Default setting. Oh, it's Valentine's Day as we record this, and somebody asked me the other day, blah blah blah, on Tinder. We were chatting. They asked me what my thing with Tinder was, my experience with Tinder. I'm like, I've never met anybody from there. I just chat every now and again, and most of the time I forget it's there. And I've been there for a year, 2 years, maybe even 3 years, I don't know, whatever. And they said, oh, so you've been single for a while? And I just laughed and said, yep, single's my default setting. And it is. It's just...
It's your default thing.
I don't even think it's a weird thing. I just think it's normal. Anyway.
So Shia LaBeouf's been in Transformers and Fury.
Oh, yeah. Because he was the main kid in Transformers against Megan Fox. Yeah.
So it's interesting. And this guy just made this clip, and yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to watch that. We'll put those in the show notes, because that is some funny shit. It really is.
So we're running out of time, so we're going to quickly chop through this. You're not very good at packing. You forgot your little remote.
Yeah.
And did you see any of the messages going around Twitter trying to find you this remote?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
It was pretty good, and we almost got Vaughn's one.
Yeah.
Actually, it was quite good. So it was the PowerPoint remote, and I'd left it behind. It was like the one thing I had to bring, and I was panicking. But Paul just ordered one and got it delivered, and they delivered it within an hour from PB Tech, I think.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. So we were okay with that in the end, and then two of the presenters had their own with them anyway.
Oh, of course they did, because they're onto it.
Yeah, because they're more onto it than me.
Now,
Brilliant.
You've written here, random coffee helper girl Nick. Did she invoke Chris Eyes?
No. It just cracked me up. So on Saturday morning,
yes,
I went in, drove in, parked up. I thought, right, I'll have a coffee. And at 7:30, the doors were opening at 8. We're going to start at 9. So I'll get in, park up, have a coffee, have something breakfast, and do my notes, because I had some notes I had to do for questioning and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I'll do that. So I start walking around. Bloody no coffee shops open at that time in that part of Auckland.
Okay.
It's more industrial, and it's Saturday,
Yeah, true. No one wants business. Yep.
This random chick was walking up the street, and I sort of said, excuse me, where could I get a coffee, do you think? She goes, that's a really good place. It shouldn't be too far, opening soon, and it's got some great food. The bagels there were amazing, actually.
Yes.
And, there's this other place and all the rest of it. I said, oh, okay, so I will start walking back with her, because I'd walked past that thing. And she goes, oh, so what are you here for? And I said, I'm here for a podcast conference. And you sort of say that...
Did you say that because you weren't 100% certain how she was going to take that?
Yeah, because, people go, I don't know what a podcast conference is, right? Or what a podcast is. That's what I was expecting. It was like, oh, that's interesting. Or,
yeah.
She goes, oh, the Asian Pacific podcast. I've been following that on Twitter. And I was like, boom, my brain just blew up. What the hell, really? And so we hooked up on Twitter as well.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And she goes, I'm a broadcasting student, and going to Samoa soon. I'm doing this thing, and I'm thinking about doing a podcast of the stuff that I'm doing there. So I was interesting.
That's
But it was
cool.
like, what's the chances? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's how I felt anyway.
I know.
So,
I think the world's slowly getting smaller, and people are getting in on
I
things.
said that to one of the attendees. I think Natalie Cutler Welsh, who did a great talk as well at the conference, and I think I was talking to her, and I was like, blah blah blah. This happened. That blew my mind, and I think it was her. It might have been Rebecca Coombe. They were like, no, that's probably standard. And I'm like, no, it's not. Maybe Hamilton. Maybe
I think that's it. I think if it happened in Hamilton, they'd just go, "Oh, what's that about?" Because that's what everyone here talks like. But yeah, pretty much.
That'd be why all our listeners are from overseas or out of Hamilton.
Maybe. I mean, we don't.
It's your attitude to the local people.
I don't mean to be negative about Hamilton, and I don't go out of my way to be. But sometimes it just drags you down. Anyway,
on that uplifting note,
you have seen the Deadpool movie. You said it is a great Valentine's movie.
I mean, I saw it on Valentine's Day with my mate. It was
what were you going to say then? You were going to say bromance.
The bromance thing going full on, but I didn't have the words.
Okay.
Actually, it's got so many Valentine's Day references in it, which I didn't expect.
Yeah.
And, it was just, we happened to be there at Valentine's Day. I was like, that is really funny. And then Jeff and I looked at each other and went, yeah, let's not talk about that.
So
no, that never happened. I just made that.
So how do you rate it? Good?
Oh, it's very good. I don't want to raise people's expectations.
I think it,
but it is good, and it's funny.
It is what it is. Like,
and it's sort of rude. Like you definitely wouldn't take a kid to that movie.
No, but
at all.
But that was the big thing, because originally they said we're going to scale it back from R18, and I think Ryan Reynolds says no, not making it then. If you can't release it as what it is, they're not going to do it. So they.
Oh, is it R18? Oh, I mean, I didn't even look because
I'm pretty certain
I haven't looked at an age restriction for a long.
Yeah, you don't need to. You're allowed into everything.
Yep.
So good movie to watch. I'm hopefully going to see it within the next 7 days.
Yep.
So I'll let you know.
Definitely recommend it.
Where can people find us, Chris?
You can get to us on Twitter at Chris and Sam Pod. I'm Chris Hanlon _NZ, and we have WebSam here, also on Twitter individually.
Just tweet whatever you want, and one of us will reply.
Yeah. Also, you can get us on Facebook, the Chris and Sam podcast, and the Chris and Sam podcast.com.
For all the show notes and videos.
All the show notes, the links to the videos we talked about, the links to bits and pieces.
Make sure to check out the archives on there, because there's 67 other episodes, and you never quite know what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, there's some great ones in there, and we will do some callbacks to previous episodes and upcoming episodes, because that's something I learned at the podcast conference. And
I need to do that on Twitter, eh?
Big call out to the podcast conference. Paul Spain did a great job putting it together. All those of you that went along and you're listening to us because you were there, had a great time meeting you all. Would have loved to done a shout out for everybody, but and
if you are, just real quickly, if this is the first episode you've ever listened to of us, and you are a real fan of Chris's laugh, make sure to check out episode 67. He loses we both lose the plot, but he does it way better than me. And with that, I'm going to have to leave, and we will see you next time.
Until next time, bye.
See ya.
Hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll catch you next week. Don't forget to tell your friend.